Here we look at an introduction to shapes of molecules. Now, as it says in the box there, the shape of a molecule depends on the number of pairs of electrons around a central atom. And these pairs of electrons can be one of two types. We can have a bonding pair of electrons, sometimes called a bonding charge cloud. I'm just going to call it bonding CC. CC means charge cloud. And we can have lone pairs. We have a lone pair, which is, we call that a non-bonding charge cloud. Now, when we're looking at the shape of a molecule, the pairs of electrons around this central atom they're arranged in such a way. So they arrange themselves in such a way to minimise the repulsion. These pairs of electrons don't want to really be anywhere near each other. So they're going to rearrange them in such a way so they're as far apart as possible. So the pairs of electrons around the central atom arrange themselves to minimise the repulsion, and that is to get as far apart from each other as possible. Now that statement is quite important because actually it is quite a common answer in some answers. So we do need to understand why molecules have got a certain shape, because they're arranging themselves around a central atom to minimise the repulsion and therefore to get as far apart from each other as possible. Now, the repulsion between these pairs of electrons are not equal, and we do need to be aware that the maximum repulsion comes between two lone pairs. Lone pair repulsion is the greatest, and that is bigger than a lone pair bonding pair, which is bigger again than two bonding pairs. So two bonding pairs repel each other the least, then a bonding pair and a lone pair. The maximum repulsion that we're going to get is between two lone pairs, and this will affect the shape of the molecule. And what we're going to look at is shapes of the molecules, including the bond angles. So we'll be looking, when we're asked questions on shapes, we might have to do one of three things. We might have to draw the shape of the molecule. We might have to name the shape, and you'll see that all these shapes have particular names, and we might have to state bond angles, and that is just between the bonding pairs of electrons. And what we're going to have a look at in the next couple of videos is the basic shapes of molecules, that is, shapes of molecules without any lone pairs. And there are 5 basic shapes that we need to learn, including the bond angles. And then we're going to start looking at shapes which include lone pairs. And we'll see that the inclusion of lone pairs will distort the shape a little bit. But we do need to be aware of this little bit of an intro, especially a bit there that I've highlighted, and also this bit I'm going to highlight in blue. Again, we'll be using that idea because that will help us explain some shapes when we look at molecules with lone pairs.